A very good morning to all of you, my dear students. Today we are going to explore Kingdom Animalia further. In this class, we will explore different types of invertebrates in complete details. First of all, allow me to show you this picture. This is a very beautiful picture of animal kingdom. As you can see in this picture, these are the animals which are present on earth. Okay, these are deers, and there is a very powerful and ferocious tiger running behind them. This is animal kingdom, my dear students. Okay, and in this class, we will explore this kingdom in complete details. First of all, as we have discussed in our previous class, that animal kingdom is divided in two groups, that are vertebrates and invertebrates. So let us first see on what ground they have been divided in two categories. Okay? Okay. So the first kingdom was, my dear students, the first group was vertebrates. Okay, so what are vertebrates? These are vertebrates. Okay, whenever we talk about animals, just if we simply say animal, the first picture which comes in our mind looks like somehow this. They have four legs, a body, a tail, eyes, mouth, nose, and these things. Okay, so let me clear you that this is only one type of the organisms which are called vertebrates. Okay, why are they called vertebrates and what's special about them? Let's see. If we will see that this is cheetah, and this is known for running fast. This is the fastest running animal on earth. Okay, and if we will compare his legs with the wheels of a motorcycle, in this case this is a BMW bike, which are very good indeed. Okay, okay, so if we will compare it with a BMW bike's wheels, then only the wheels can't run along. They need some kind of a backbone to join them together so that they can, now you can see that if this kind of a structure is there, it can run, but this alone can't run na. So we need a strong structure to hold those wheels at their place. Okay, and then other muscular things and all complete to join together to make the whole bike. Okay, so for all these things joined together, this thing is called vertebrates. Okay, and here you, if you can see that this backbone is very important for organisms to run like this. Okay, okay, so let's see a few general characteristics of the vertebrates. They have an internal skeleton, not only backbone but other bones are also present to support their movement. Okay, so good, so far so good. Just like us, we have not only backbone, we have chest bones, limb bones, shoulder girdles, and other hip girdles, and other bones also, like rib cage and all those things. Okay, so internal full structure is there, skeleton structure. Okay, then there is a backbone is present, definitely. And most of the vertebrates have tails usually present. Okay, we also had tail, but we have evolved past the, and we don't use need nowadays tails for running. Okay, because we are, we have stood up, and we nowadays we don't need tail. But if the all the organisms which run like this on their all the four limbs, they need a tail to balance their body. Okay, we have hands instead of tails to balance while running. You can imagine, you can try to put your both your hands in the pocket, and don't you move and tie something here like this, and then try to run, and then move your and then let your hands free and then run. You will feel the difference. Okay, that purpose was served by tails. So these are vertebrates. Now let's see what are invertebrates. Invertebrate means they don't have backbone, especially backbone or any other bone. Okay, they could have some bony structures here and there, but they will lack a complete structure of internal structure of backbones, sorry, bones. Okay, so these are invertebrates. As you can see in this picture, octopus is present, and octopuses are very flexible animals. They are very, you know uh, amazing animals, I will say, indeed, because they are really flexible, and they can do many things. They can change color, they can adjust in a very small bottle, and so many things. We will discuss about it more in a few minutes. Okay, so what about octopus or invertebrates? What are the general characteristics? So they do not have an internal skeleton. Obviously invertebrates do not have an internal skeleton. Okay, backbone is absent. Okay, this is the basis on which it is divided between vertebrates and invertebrates. Their backbone was present, here backbone is absent. Okay, and then tail is absent. Obviously, if backbone, tail is what? Tail is an extension of backbone. The backbone which arises from here goes to, we have our tailbone, na? So that is what, an extension of backbone, and it continues to grow like that, and that is our tail. Okay, and then three or more pair of limbs are present. Okay, why not? If we don't have backbone, let's have something else, and that is extra number of limbs. Okay, so invertebrates have three or more pair of limbs. So far so good. They may lack limbs also, but if they have, they have a lot of them. Okay. Okay, so now you tell me one thing. In our last class, we discussed that animal kingdom or whole classification is based on evolution. So all the organisms, all the groups of organisms are either junior or seniors. Which of these two groups are senior? Vertebrates are senior or invertebrates are senior? Who is less evolved and who is more evolved? Obviously invertebrates are less evolved because they lack many things, and vertebrates are more evolved because they have many things. Okay, so this is more evolved organism. Okay, so to start the thing, we will start with invertebrates, and in this class we will see all the different phylums of invertebrates in complete details. Okay, so let us start without wasting time. This is our very first phylum of invertebrates. As you can see in these pictures, you can see that sir, this is a stone, these are some kind of woods, some tree debris or something like that. But no, these are animals, the most primitive type of animal. Why animal? Because they are heterotrophic. Okay, what happens is that the water flows through them. They are mostly marine. Let's see the general characteristics first. It is called porifera. Okay, and the general characteristics are that the general characteristics of phylum porifera are as follows. They are mostly marine animals, but some of them are also found in fresh water. Okay, okay. They are stationary as they remained attached to the floor of the sea. They are stationary. Okay, as you can see in these pictures, they can't move. The body is porous with numerous pores and one large opening to allow the entry of water. Okay, so water flows through them. Okay, they have, their body have pores through which water flows through them, and they have pores to let water out. Okay, either ways, or this way or that way, doesn't matter, but the main purpose is to let water flow through it, and they will absorb all the nutrients from the water itself. Anyways, if you will pick single drop of water and if you will observe it under a microscope, you will find many organic components dissolved in the water. Okay, just like other plant dead cells, or animal debris, or animal wastes, even they are all organic. They have something or the other, nutrients and all those things. Okay, so those things these animals filter and use. Okay, and oxygen also. So this is the most primitive type of animal. This is porifera. Okay, let's see a few examples. There are sponges, as you can see in this very beautiful picture. This this man is letting a few drops of some color on the base of this porifera, and it is showing that how along with water it is carried up and letting it out from the uh, mouth of the sponges. Okay, so there are sponges. Then there are Venus flowers basket. It looks like this in the image which is running on the background. You can see, I'll tell you here, yeah, here it is. Here it is. Okay, Venus flower basket. And then we have barrel sponge, which is looks like this. As you can see, some water is coming. coming out of its mouth, along with some other substances which it is taking from the ground and other things. Okay, and then we have something like this stovepipe sponge. So it looks like this. They have a mouth on the top, other pores on the body, and they will allow water to go through it, and they will absorb all the things from it. Okay, now how to remember this? So porifera, pori means pores, isn't it sounds like pores? Porifera, pores means small small holes. Okay, and this is also pre means the first, previous. Okay, so you can this is a trick to remember, not take it literally, but this is a trick to remember that pre means previous, that means the first. You can take for instance that this is the first, the like pre. Okay, pori. And pores, it have pores, so it is porifera, and this is the first one. Okay. Okay, as the first one, it is rooted just like the ground, uh, rooted to the ground just like the plants. It can't move, can't do anything, just it will be there, and it will filter the water, and it will take out whatever comes through the water. Okay, let's move to the second one. Here we have these type of creatures. These types of creatures are also grounded, most of them, but some species can also move in free water. Okay, but the interesting thing is they will have finger like projections to catch the prey. As you can see is in this picture, this hydra, this is called hydra, it is there. Yeah, it is there, and now it just a fish came into its reach, and it grabbed it and swallowed it into the mouth. Okay, they have a mouth. Now let's see a general characteristics. This kingdom is known as Cnidaria, or it is also called Coelentrata. Don't pronounce it as Cnidaria. Okay, it is pronounced as Cnidaria. Okay, and it have Coelentrata, also known as Coelentrata. Okay, so the general characteristics of phylum Cnidaria are as follows. They are mostly marine animals attached to the floor of sea, for example hydra, and some are free floating, example jellyfish. Have you heard about jellyfish? Yeah, this is a very common type of organism, jellyfish. Okay, they have a sac-like body with one opening, that is the mouth. Okay, they have a sac-like body they have. Okay, and they have one opening, that is mouth. So two things are very sure about this kingdom, sorry, this phylum, that they will have a mouth, single mouth. They could be attached or free moving, doesn't matter, but they will have finger like projections. Here the mouth is surrounded by finger like structures called tentacles for catching food. This is for sure. Every Cnidarian species will have tentacles on its mouth to catch its prey. Okay. Okay, and here are the examples. As you can see here, it is hydra. It is attached, but it have finger like projections called tentacles to catch the prey. Then we have jellyfish. Jellyfish looks like this. Okay, it moves like this and this. I was trying my best to take a GIF picture for jellyfish, but whenever I pasted it here, it stopped. I think jellyfish was angry. Okay. Okay, and then we have sea anemone. Okay, sea anemone is a very strange kind of looking animal which looks like this. As you can see, it can move, and then it will be there whenever it wants to stop. Okay. Okay, and then we have, as if I'm not sure you can see this very clearly, I will try to. Okay, so Physalia is just like jellyfish. Okay, it floats on the top of the water. It looks like a plastic filled of air. Okay, and it floats, and it have its tentacles under the water. Okay, and it will float on the top, and whenever something comes in near the surface to have some fresh air, it catches it. Okay. Okay, so what you are grasping with this, the kingdom, sorry, the phylum Cnidaria, that they are either fixed or somehow moving. Okay, somehow they are moving, or either they are fixed, and they will have some tentacles to catch their prey and put them in their mouth. Okay, to remember this, Coelenterata, like colon is like colon is the intestine is called colon. So Coelenterata somehow it have a lot of colons coming out of mouth. Okay, or something like that. You can invent your own technique also for this one. But yeah, Cnidaria is the second one, and second one some species can move, but all of them have finger like tentacles for catching their prey. Okay. And Coelentrata also sounds like tentacles, something like that. Trata, tentacles. Okay. Okay. Cnidaria and Coelentrata. And one more is there, sea pen. It is also fixed. As you can see, it looks very beautiful. Not exactly all the species are like this, but yeah, it somehow they are like this. This one was the best, very beautiful. So I pasted this image. But some the white portion can be little bit wider also, like this also. Okay, and but yeah, it somehow looks like this sea pen. It is the fixed type of Cnidaria, like Hydra. Okay, so you don't have to remember all the images. These are just there to show you that how they are. Okay, names are just in the example section given in your book, so I have pasted the images also, so that why only to listen the name? If it is written, let's see them, how are they, to make the concept even clearer. Okay. Okay, next let's move to the next phylum, which is, okay, before moving to the next, let's bust a myth. There is a very common myth that jellyfish is a fish, but the fact is that jellyfish is not actually fish, as the name implies. Okay, fishes are vertebrates, and vertebrates animals. All the fishes, have you ever eat a fish? Or even if you don't, if even if you are vegetarian, you must have seen some bone of the fish here and there in the TV or something like that, that yeah, they have a backbone. Okay, wherever jellyfish, whereas jellyfish are invertebrates belonging to the phylum Cnidaria, as we have seen just now. Nowadays jellyfish are often referred to as jellies or sea jellies. Okay, they are often referred as jellies or sea jellies. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Okay, so till now organisms were either fixed like woods, or they were fixed but they were able to move their fingers or something like that, tentacles like that, or somehow they were moving or floating. Now the next kingdom, sorry, the next phylum is Platyhelminthes. They are also called flatworms. Okay, for remembering this name, platy sounds like patla, right? Like plates, patla, platy yani, or like plates. So Platyhelminthes, patla helminthes. Okay, plates like helminthes. So they are flat. This is the most prominent character, that they will be flat, otherwise they are not platyhelminthes. Okay, and they will look like worms. So flatworms, they are, the common name is flatworms, platyhelminthes. The characteristic features of phylum Platyhelminthes are as follows. Here in the heading, there is a space by mistake. Platy doesn't have space between Platyhelminthes. It is by mistake, somehow it was pressed and I didn't noticed it. Okay, mouth is the only opening. They have a mouth. Examples are tapeworm, planaria, liver fluke, and uh, gyardia. Okay, so etc. So one thing I'll tell you in addition here, that this is the first phylum where eyes are introduced. As you can see, the creature which is moving on the background have a pair of eyes, but we don't have to study about it. What we have to study is that they have one single, this is tapeworm, my dear students. It is found in human intestine, and these are its eggs. Okay, and this is, in this picture it is not very clear to see that this is a flat, but yeah, these are absolutely flat. Okay, these are very flat. Okay. Okay, next is planaria, which is running behind in the background, but it also looks like this. Again, it is taken from the picture is taken from the above, so it looks like it is round, but no, it is flat. Okay, it is very flat but broad. Okay. Okay, next one is liver fluke. In this picture, these flukes are from the liver of a sheep. Okay, and this is a coin, so it is present in the liver of all the vertebrates. Okay, big animals. And then we have, as here you can see, this is also flat, and we have a Giardia with a planaria. Planaria is friend planaria, best friend planaria. Okay, this is also flat. So these are just examples to show you that these are flats. Okay, and the main thing is that they will have only one opening, okay, as their mouth. Okay, the same opening will be used for ingestion and excretion. Okay, planaria. Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes was patla. Next thing is nematoda or roundworms. To remember this name, try to remember like neem. You know, na neem. Neem is a tree. We use datvans, uh, wood brush, datvans made up of neem in our villages. Nowadays we use brush, but yeah, we know that there is the datwan that people use for brushing their teeth. So nematoda, toda means neem ka toda hua means tota hua danti or something like that. तो नीम का जो टूटा हुआ डंटी होता है वो कैसा होता है? It's flat or it's round. It's like cylinder, na? It's cylindrical, always cylindrical. Nematoda is always cylindrical. So this one roundworm will always be cylindrical. Round does not means like it will be like this. It means its body is like our fingers, cylindrical. So nematoda is always cylindrical. And what are the general characteristics of phylum Nematoda? Mostly parasitic animals. Okay, okay. Such as these are all parasitic. This one was also parasitic. Okay, Platyhelminthes. Okay, and this is Nematoda. So nematoda is what? Parasitic. Parasitic, such as Ascaris, that lives in the small intestine of humans and other animals, while others are free living. Many free living species are also there. They have a long cylindrical unsegmented body. This term is very important for this section. Unsegmented means the body is comes in one flow. There are no segments in the body, just like earthworms. If you see an earthworm close enough, you will see that there are segments, and many other creatures you will see that there are segments. The body is segmented, but here there is no segment. Just like leech, it is one smooth flow. Okay, okay. The body has two openings, the mouth and the anus. Okay, so here the evolutionary stage is that it will have two openings, and this is a very big step, because one alimentary canal is then formed, right? If the body have two openings, then one alimentary canal, the food will get in from one side, and after proper digestion and everything, it have a proper channel for going for the food to pass through the body. Okay, so it is the next stage. Nematoda have and mouth and an anus, yani ki complete alimentary canal. Okay, okay. And now let's see a few examples. So first example is myrmex. This is found in the intestine of all the mammals and other creatures also. This one is from the intestine of a grasshopper. As you can see, the poor thing died because of that, myrmex. Then we have inoplus. Inoplus is also an example of nematoda. Okay, and then we have Wuchereria. Wuchereria is interesting. It lives in human beings. Wuchereria bancrofti is its full name. It causes filaria. Filaria is a type of disease which is caused by Wuchereria. Okay, and it lives in the lymph nodes of human beings. That's why I have pasted this image, because it was showing blood cells. Okay, Wuchereria. So these are what? Nematodes. Okay, nematoda will be circular, and it will have two openings. All the datvans have two openings, right? Have you seen it? They have two openings. Okay, nematoda, neem ka tod. Okay, and now we have Annelida. Annelida means earthworms. Okay, so let's see a few characteristics. General characteristics of phylum Annelida are as follows. The animals have a segmented body with a cavity. What do you mean by cavity? Cavity means that alimentary canal which we were talking about. Okay, so they have segments. As you can see in this picture, there are a lot of small segments. Okay, the body is segmented with a cavity, and then they have well developed digestive system with a mouth and an anus. Special organs for excretion present, called nephridia. Okay, nephridia are present, special organs for excretion. Okay, so what is different here? There are two things different here. first thing is that the whole body is segmented from head to toe, okay, and it have two openings. Not only two openings, but it have a well developed digestive system. That means it will have other organelles also, small something for some juices or some at some place and some other juices at some other place, some secretory organs. We don't have to dig that deep on this, okay, but yeah, they will have something more than the previous phylum, and that are other organs. And one thing we have to remember in this context is that nephridia is present, which is an excretory organ in Annelida. Okay, and now let's see a few examples. Earthworms, which looks like this. Okay, earthworm. This one is also an earthworm, which is uh, there on the top left corner. And we have leech. Leeches are blood-sucking creatures present in marshy areas, and whenever floody water comes, everyone talks about that. Don't go there. Some jokes will be there, right? So what are those jokes? Leeches. Okay. So Annelida. Now, how to remember this? Annelida is like the lid of the plant. Sorry, lid of the pen. Okay. So it looks like lids. How? Because they have inks. Lids have what? Inks, proper, and then they have a very well developed excretory organ, like the tip of the lid, like the nib of the pen have, no, you know that a pen have some steel, or every lid of the pen have some steel excretory organ for the proper excretion of ink. So Annelida works like that. Okay. Okay, and then we have a myth which we will bust right now. And the myth is that all soft bodied animals are called worms, and they have the same characteristic features. But the fact is that all soft bodied animals called worms do not have same characteristic features. Worm is actually a general term used to describe the number of members of three separate invertebrate phylum, namely Platyhelminthes, which are flat like plates, Nematoda, which are cylindrical like the Datwan, which have two openings but no proper digestive systems like that and excretory organs, and Annelida, which have two openings, one mouth, one for excretion, and a proper excretory organ also. Okay, so this is Annelida. Okay, so this is the truth. Not only this, my dear students, there is one organism which is called blind snake. I am very sure you must have seen it somewhere or the other. I have seen it quite often. I mean, not less than 10 times since I was a child. Okay, and it falls under the kingdom vertebrates, but it looks like a worm. I'll show you. Have you seen this creature? Whenever you will hit it, it moves very fastly, very rapidly it moves. Okay, so this is blind snake. This is not poisonous, but we are supposed to not mess up with snakes. Anyhow, blind or mute doesn't matter. Okay, snakes are snakes, stay away. Okay, next thing, mollusca. This is very interesting in the sense, I will tell you after explaining this. Characteristic features of phylum Mollusca are as follows. Animals of this group have a soft, unsegmented body covered with shells. May or may not have shells. It is not compulsory, but most of them have shells. वहां से वो दीजिए तो वो वाला शंख बड़ा वाला जो है सिर पैर के पास. Okay, and they have a muscular foot for locomotion. Examples: snails, octopus, squids, oysters, slug, and cuttlefish. I will show you one live example. This is a shell of mollusca which we bought when we were at a family trip to the southern part of India. So they could be this large. Okay, they could be this large. They have a shell and they have a inner body which lives inside. Okay, and here it is packed also, and it moves like this, slowly. Okay. Okay, so these are snails. This is very familiar. We must have seen these snails moving here and there. In now they are rainy season, many of them. I live near the the jheel in the town, the lake which is there in our town, and many of these things try to come invade our homes in rainy season. Okay, octopus is, again we have seen octopus. This is an octopus, as this was also a GIF which is not running. This was also a GIF which is not running. I am very unsure about this, why some of them run and some of them don't run. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll try my best to show you here that octopuses are very camouflagic animals. Earlier in this GIF it was black and white. Okay, and as soon as it reached that stone, it turned its color, and it takes and it turns color very quickly. I mean, just in 1 second it can turn from blue to red or anything like that. Whichever surface it is, it goes and it takes the color just in a second, very fastly. Okay, octopus. Then we have squids look like this. This was also a GIF. It have two fins on the top, as you can see, just on the top it goes like this, and those things are hanging around. Okay, squids. And then we have oyster. Yeah, this one is running. Okay, oyster looks like this, and it can run also like that like that, very funnily running. But yeah, okay, they have shells and all those things. Then we have slugs. Yeah, this one is also playing, thank god. Slugs are also like snails. The only difference is they don't have that shell on the top of their body. Okay, okay. So, and one more, we have cuttlefish. Cuttlefish is what it is. It was also a GIF, and it's also not playing, but doesn't matter. As you can see that the cuttlefish here on the background is black and white, and here it is green and black. So from that pattern to that pattern they can go in just 1 second. Okay, they are very camouflagic animals like octopus and cuttlefish. Okay, so why are they called mollusks? Why are they called mollusca? Why are they called mollusks? Because they are mulayam. Okay, one thing you will find in common, that their shells are very hard. If they have shell, their shells are very hard. Otherwise the organism itself is very mulayam, so they are called mollusca. Okay, so this is a trick to remember. Molluscas are mulayam. They have a soft unsegmented body with or without a shell. Okay, so this organism which will live in this shell will definitely be very soft, right? And even if they don't have shell, they have a very good camouflage to hide them in the surrounding. So they are intelligent, and they are mulayam, and they are mollusca. Let's move to the next test. Three questions I have for you. Name the group of invertebrates based on the following features. The body is porous, the body is long, cylindrical, and unsegmented. Nephridia are the excretory organs. You have got 20 seconds to think about it. Okay, let me tell you. So the body is porous in porifera, pores, porifera. Okay, the body is long, cylindrical, and unsegmented is nematoda, like nematoda, long, cylindrical, and unsegmented. Nematoda, Datwans, and Annelida have nephridia, to the tip of the need to write down Annelida. Okay, and lead, Annelida. Okay, it looks like something in some other language it is saying a lead or an lead. Okay, Annelida, like Spanish or something like that. Okay, so this was it. Next kingdom, next phylum we have of this. He is very excited because we are going to talk about it. Yeah, okay, got you. Okay, I really smiled because whenever when I saw this and I decided this, yeah, I will paste this image only. He was really excited because we are going to study about him. Okay, so arthropodas. Arthropoda, the word arthro means joined, and the word poda means fit. Okay, legs. So arthropoda literally translates to joint legs. Okay, joint feet. Yeah, okay, got it, man. Relax. The characteristic features of phylum Arthropoda are as follows. So the first characteristic is that the body of Arthropoda is divided into head, thorax, and abdomen. Okay, the thorax is situated between the head and the abdomen. Okay, okay, and the body is covered with a hard and protective outer covering called exoskeleton. Okay, most of them have this. Okay, exoskeleton. And then the body has appendaged with many joints. Okay, appendages with many joints. Okay, so here we have, it have three segments on the body, thorax, and head. Okay, and it have hard covering and appendages with many joints. I mean, appendages means legs in this case. Okay, so example is crab, because he is dancing a lot, so his example only crab. Okay, 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 this is one of the biggest phylum of animal kingdom, so we have a different slide for its examples only. Examples of arthropoda. First one is cockroach. Many of the girls really love it. I don't know why, they even don't bite. Second one is butterfly. Many of the boys really don't love it. I don't know why, they don't take away anything. Okay, and scorpios and shrimps. Have you ever seen a shrimp? It is called Hindi, in Hindi it is called jhinga. People used to eat it also, in here also, in our locality also. I have also tasted it once, and I'm not sure how does it taste. I didn't liked it. Okay, then we have lobster. It is also being eaten across the world, and it is sold very costly. The bigger the lobster, the more it costs. Then we have centipede. No one will try to eat it except for the Chinese. They must have eating it. Then we have millipedes. It is also very similar to the centipedes. And then we have spiders. What do you find common in between these things? They have legs and they have joint legs. Their legs are joint from their abdomen. They are joint, and then they have legs. Many pair of legs. I mean, more than at least three or more than that. And other things also they have, like venom, or spiders have web making things, and okay, and cockroaches have something very powerful. I'm not sure it is true or not, but I have heard that cockroaches even can survive a nuclear explosion. Find about it on the internet. Okay, okay, next and the last phylum we have, the very beautiful Echinodermata. It is not pronounced as Echinodermata. It is pronounced as Echinodermata. Okay, starfish. Following are the general characteristics of phylum Echinodermata. They are mostly marine animals with, um, spiny and star-like or bell-like bodies. Okay, okay, ball-like bodies. Sorry, but they have spines. Okay, and locomotion is by tube feet. Okay, and examples we will see. Okay, so tube feet, what is tube feet? If you will see closely in the background image, you will see that the legs of these starfishes have small something here, like something is happening there. Those are tube feet which help them to move across. Okay, we will see this, but first of all let us understand why, how can we remember this. So echinodermata sounds like itching, right? Itching. Echinodermata is sounding like some kind of a medicine for skin, and echino is sounding like itching. So what does itches? What happens? What will itch? If I will take a small thorn, and I will, you can also try it. uh, don't do it on yourself, because you will be aware of it, and you may not do that. But take a small thorn or something like that which is spiky, and put it pinch it somewhere like this only, Don't hurt anyone, but simply do like this. You will notice that immediately the other person will take it hand and start scratching on it. Why? Because thorns, whenever some thorn is we immediately scratch it. To, I don't know how it happens, but yeah, thorns make us scratch it. Okay, so echinodermata means it will scratch, means it have thorns, thorny it is. This is the uh, way, the trick to remember it. So they are mostly marine animals with spiny and star like or ball like bodies. Okay, and the locomotion is with tube feet. These tube feet look like spines. So first one is a starfish. As you can see here in this picture, it have a lot of tube feet on the on every arm. See clearly? Yes, na? Okay, so this is the starfish. This can be very big also, as you can see here. Marine starfish with a lot of tube feet. Okay, and then one more example is there, which is uh, sea urchins. Sea urchins are there. They can walk like this. They move around. They are this much big, like a ball with a lot of spikes, and they move like this. So this was echinodermata. So this is it. This is last phylum. I'm very sure. Let's have a quick recap from the very beginning. Okay, so our very first phylum was Porifera. It was porous, found in these things. Examples were this. Porous, Porifera means it will have pores. Okay, and then we have a Cnidaria or Coelenterata. It means it will have colon on its mouth, a lot of them, and they will help them catch the food. Okay, that means they first moved something they have which can be moved, or catch fishes, or like this, behaved like animals. These were the examples. Okay, sea pen and all. And the myth that starfish is not a fish. Then we have platyhelminthes. They were flat plate like. Okay, and tapeworm and liver flukes were their example. Okay, planaria. And then we have Nematoda looks like datwan, neem ka toda hua datwan. They have mouth, two openings, mouth and an anus, but no segments present on the body. They are unsegmented. Okay, then we have Annelida have proper segments to the body and a very well defined excretory organ, that is called nephridia, or nib of the lid. And Annelida have a very well designed internal structure, internal colon, digestive structure. Earthworms and leeches are the examples, were the examples. Then the myth that all soft bodied animals, but no, they are 3 4 types of them. Okay, then we have molluscas, the mulayam ones. Okay, they will have a hard shell or camouflagic skin to protect them from the animals. Okay, and then the test, these things. Porous is Porifera, long unsegmented Nematoda, and in Cnidaria have in Annelida. And then we have this gentleman here. Arthropodas will have joint legs, 3 segments in the body. Okay, and appendages are many joints, with many joints. So and the three segments are called which segments? Head, thorax and abdomen. Okay, okay. Hard protective cover they have. There is a gentleman here, and these are all the examples of different types of arthropodas. Okay, mosquitoes are also arthropodas, I guess. Okay, and then here echinodermata, they are itchy, they have thorns which itches. Starfish, as you can see in this picture. And we have sea urchins. Okay, so this was it, my dear students. This there only this much invertebrates are there. In our next class we will explore vertebrates in details. One thing there is in your book on page number 49, there is one table 3.2 given here. As you can see, table 3.2 is given here. in which all the major invertebrate phylums are given and their examples are given. So you have to remember this table. This is the homework, today's homework, on page number 49, table number 3.2, major invertebrates phylum and their example. This much you have to remember, so that you will remember the sequence of all the phylums and their examples. Rest of the details you will come to know with the only the name. Okay. Thank you very much for watching this video till now. If you have any confusion or something like that, let us discuss the things in the comment section.